Hi, Facebook friends. Helen Archontou here, CEO of the YWCA of Northern New Jersey, TGIF. And if you are, we're still saying Happy New Year because it's so early in the year. We're finishing through our first week here. And if you're in Northern New Jersey, we have our first snowstorm of 2022. It is white, and it is powdery and pretty for at least another hour or so till we all get sick of it. Um, but I know that one of the it's actually pretty appropriate to have this blustery day out here because it's a perfect day to be talking comfort and caring, which is what today is all about. Again, my name's Helen Archontou. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I'm the CEO of the YWCA of Northern New Jersey, and so happy to have you with us for this episode of YWTV. And we have a wonderful conversation today with Molly Yearick, who is a woman living here in our community, who's I happen to be in one of the Facebook groups in Secret Montclair, and I saw her post about what she was doing, and I thought it was a great opportunity to be able to lift it up. So welcome, Molly.
Thank you, Helen, and everyone. So great to be here.
So, folks, one of the things that we're seeing right now, unfortunately, we know we're not only in the beginning of a new year, not only in a snowstorm, but we are we're still living in this time of a pandemic. I mean, so many of us imagined that almost 2 years in that this would be over and just a story that we were telling, but we're still in it. And not only are we in it, unfortunately, we're in a surge right now, as we know. And it's been a very difficult time for so many members of our community, for family, for friends. And, I think one of the things that has been, maybe one of the only bright spots is that when we see these moments of humanity, that have come out of this very, very difficult time. And that's what really struck me about the Facebook post I read that, Molly had made about the work that she's doing, and why I really wanted to lift it up, because I'm always amazed by, again, how women over and over again, kind of come together and, fill in the spaces, to really help bridge some difficult times. And they do, women, their families, the people around us, community. And here we are with another wonderful example of that. Before we jump into talking about what Molly has been up to, I want to tell you a little bit about her. Her background is that she has had over 30 years of experience in the apparel industry, both on the wholesale and retail side. Recently, she found herself with lots of free time on her hands, like many of us, for the very first time during this COVID time. And she wanted to volunteer and give back. I mean, she, like everyone else, saw so much sickness and sadness, around her, and, wanted to figure out, how to do something safely, and sharing a talent that she had. So she will talk a little bit more about how this all came to be, but she connected through a TV show on the Today Show to an organization called Lasagna Love. And she loved their mission, and she found herself reaching out to, learn more about them. And as often happens, right? As often happens,
once you step up,
you blink, and you're the Northern New Jersey regional leader of the organization. Funny how that happens.
Yeah.
We talk a lot about saying no, but in this situation, we're so glad that you said yes, Molly. Welcome.
Oh, thank you. That was a great intro. Thank you.
So Molly, I mean, tell us, before we jump into Lasagna Love and the organization, which I have to say, I didn't know anything about until I read your post, which took me on a little journey, a little Google journey that I know many of us, sometimes go to when we're like, oh, that's interesting. But tell me about what was going on for you, when you watched the Today Show. I mean, what was going on around you? What spurred you to want to do something?
So as you mentioned, after working full time and commuting to the city and just really not having the wherewithal and the time to really give back or the energy. And I found myself at home during COVID and watched, as we all were home and nervous and stressing, and watched the Today Show. And I saw Rhiannon Men, who's the founder of Lasagna Love, on the Today Show. And it just really struck a chord. She lived in San Diego at the time and just started baking meals for her neighbors, literally just to help people in need, whether it was financial, just stressful times. Some people just needed extra kindness. And she just started baking lasagna for her neighbors and started posting on Facebook, hey, Southern California ladies and men, would anybody else like to be doing this? And she quickly created this network of chefs that just really wanted to support, feed families, spread kindness, which is part of our mission.
Mhm.
And she struck a chord because I love to cook. I'm a gatherer. I love to cook for people. It brings people together. I love the idea of lasagna. It goes a long way. It's warm and hearty, as you said, perfect for a day like today, but it goes a long way. So a family, a single individual can eat it for multiple meals. So it just really struck a chord. And I was at a place where I really wanted to help others. I always do, but I had the time to do it. So I signed up as a volunteer.
And
The other,
I love that, you said that you're a gatherer. I mean,
yeah,
folks who have that, natural inclination and tendency during this time really have been struggling, right? Because
yes,
something that really, no pun intended, feeds you, right?
yes, exactly.
And so, what a wonderful way to be able to kind of manage, feeling that loss,
Yes,
and
absolutely.
giving back. So lasagna, right? I mean,
Yes.
you said it yourself. I mean, it's just one of these great comfort meals. I know I was thinking about that. I said when I woke up this morning, knowing we were having this conversation, looking at the weather, and it's true. It's one of those meals that you can have multiple
Mhm.
times.
Absolutely. I mean, we are Lasagna Love. We offer up a free home cooked meal. We do have chefs across the country and across New Jersey that have other specialties and may offer up to families things other than lasagna. We primarily make lasagna. We have a great Facebook group where we share all kinds of different recipes, vegan, like whatever your dietary needs are, we have different recipes. So we try to cater to that too. But lasagna is a warm, yummy, loving, you know, meal.
Yes, yes. And so I always like to bring stories to YWTV because that can inspire, and help, our viewers. Very often, we think about something, but we don't act on it because we think,
Hmm.
oh, I can't do
Right.
that, or I'm not sure if I have time. I'm not sure if I have the talent. I'm not
Hmm.
sure, all of the excuses, right, that come into our head. But I love when we have people that can model, the magic that can happen, and the sequence of events, that can happen. So you watched the show, you reached
Yes.
out, and then how did you start? How did you start it here locally in Montclair area? And I guess we'll talk about then how that evolved into your new title.
Absolutely. So I live in Maplewood, so I'm really
Okay.
close by. Live in Essex County, and I just signed up to be a chef. So I said, okay, I can cook. The beauty of volunteering, we can get into that, is it's very flexible. So it's no pressure. If you want to cook just once or every other week or every week, I have some cooks that cook 3 lasagnas a week. It just depends on what you can do time wise, financially. So I just signed up to cook a meal every other week, and not really knowing what that was, how that was going to your point, like I had never really done this before. So I just wanted to see how that evolved. And I cooked a lasagna every other week. It's contactless delivery, which I just wanted to like feel that out.
Yeah.
You get the recipient's name, you text them, you communicate with them, you drop off the meal at a time that works for both of you. And I just wanted to kind of get in the groove. So I did that a couple times, and then we were still growing. I reached out to Rhiannon and the leads and the East Coast. I said, listen, I'm willing to do more. I have time. I love what this is about. It feels really great selfishly to do this. Like, how can I help more? So literally, to your point, within like a month, they emailed back and said, okay, we're growing. We need someone to help we're setting up New Jersey. Like, would you be willing to take on a few counties in North Jersey as, a regional lead? And I said, absolutely. So I still do some cooking, but I find most of my time is doing the posting and communicating with the chefs constantly. And I've met some really wonderful people doing this.
So let's talk about, let's talk a little bit more about volunteering, and then let's talk about how you get on the list to ask for a lasagna if you're, in that bucket. And I guess I'm thinking you could probably go back and forth in either, right?
No, honestly, we do. We have, I'm glad you're bringing that up. We've had recipients of lasagnas that have said, I am so appreciative. And when I'm back on my feet and I can do this, I'm going to cook. And they have. I've had lots of people sign up to cook after they've received. So it is.
You talk about the chefs, right? And so when I hear chef, I think like professional.
No.
But
you're a chef. I'm a chef. We're all chefs.
Oh, good. I like that. So my the 3 kinds of pancakes I made this morning.
See, you're a chef.
I have a better title for breakfast that I did over here. So talk to us about that. So if what cooking skills? I mean, obviously, do you give them the lasagna recipe? Is there a recipe you suggest that people, use like their own family recipe?
Great. It's a great question. Like, once you sign up, just to back up a second, our website is phenomenal, and it's www.lasagnalove.org. And on that site, it's so terrific. You can either volunteer, you can request a lasagna, or you can nominate someone to get a lasagna. We do all 3 things. But as a volunteer, it's easy sign up. It's on our site. Once you sign up as a volunteer, you will be required to watch a few brief, awesome videos on how to cook responsibly in your home, how to do the deliveries. It's really, really simple and easy. But I find that many people are visual, so the videos are very helpful. But if you, I have people that have signed up and emailed me, Molly, I really don't cook, but I want to help. Like, I can follow a recipe. So some people have their own recipes. We do have our one universal recipe that I actually use. But as I said, on our Facebook group, we share, there's hundreds of recipes that people have used, both lasagna, ziti, lots of different foods. So there are recipes that we share out with you, not to be intimidated or scared. If you have the will, I'm all about will. If you have the will and want to help, I'm in. You're in. I'll help you.
That's great. And that's great to know, because I like you said, I mean, I'm sure there are many people, listening to this thinking, I love to cook, but I don't know if I, have a great recipe for lasagna, or I don't know if I cook to the point where, it would, be something that, we should share past our own family.
I truly didn't make a lot of lasagna beforehand, and it's a very simple. You can use no boil noodles. It really is not complicated, and it's an easy recipe to follow. And who doesn't love lasagna? So I always make one for my family and then some to give away. Everyone wins here.
That's so great. That's so great. So that there's for our viewers, in the comments here, we're putting for you the website for lasagnalove.org. And as Molly has mentioned, there's a Facebook group. And are you guys on IG also?
We are not.
Okay.
Actually, we are. I take that back. We are on Instagram. I can share that as well. The Facebook group, all we do is require that you signed up as a chef. And you can sign up for our Facebook. Once you're a chef, you can absolutely
be in the Facebook group. Got it.
Exactly.
Okay, so for our friends, you've got that information, how you can get connected to the Facebook group and how you can get connected to the social media pages. I know I'm going to start following myself now.
Yes,
Let's talk about those that are getting the lasagnas.
Okay.
And those, have you? What are some of the stories? I know the stories are really the most, compelling about, and I read some of them in the Facebook group, when you posted. So I, have a sense of how it's impacted people. But, can you talk a little bit about that, the being on the receiving end of getting one of these meals on your doorstep?
Absolutely. One of the things I wanted to mention is that as a requester, if you request a meal, we don't vet you or ask why. We do have a comment section that I get caught up in reading, and people just leave notes of why they're requesting. You don't have to. It's hard for people to reach out because you don't know what people's burdens are. If they just need a break. So we don't vet why. We respond and we supply the meal. And the stories are really endless. I mean, it's tough to read some of the circumstances that people are going through. So it makes it even that much more powerful to be able to support them. But it could be single folks. I've been helping a lot with in North Jersey with pantries. We've been working more with, so not just with single deliveries, but with pantries and food banks, and trying to be a resource for like churches and hospitals and schools on their social services, like being on their list of support groups. But we get, sometimes you don't hear back from the recipient. You don't have to send, but some of the notes we get back are just like, one woman said to me, like, this is the nicest thing anyone's ever done for me. She was just so grateful just to have a break. And that's not why you do it for the response, but when you get them, the stories are just really endless. So it could be retired folks that are kind of shut in and just need the help. The scenarios are endless. And again, we don't ask why, just appreciative. I have lasagna chefs that have been caught up with COVID recently and gotten sick. So we've had other chefs cook for them. So it's neighbors helping neighbors. And that's really why I'm here. It's just the local support.
Yeah.
For the recipients.
I mean, I love that aspect of this program. I think, there's so obviously, who doesn't love a wonderful, comforting lasagna, of course, but, just, in this time, I mean, obviously everything from someone just not being well,
Yes.
to being able to cook for themselves, which is when you look at how, whether it was, the past variants or current variants or, who knows what's ahead, it really knocks people out.
Mm-hmm.
It really knocks people out, and they don't have the energy to be able to make something for themselves. So knowing that this meal is showing up on your doorstep is just a godsend. And then
Yes.
on top of that, I mean, we know that so many families are have been financially impacted, even if they're not dealing with COVID directly.
Right.
Their bank accounts have been wiped out from living on their savings, if they have even had any. Their jobs have been knocked out. I mean, we know that women and, women of color, in particular, have been most impacted. And we also know that women are the caregivers, whether it's someone, older in their family or younger in their family. So, being able to have a connection like this is just so beautiful, honestly, and which I love about it. So again, for our viewers, I just want to make sure that you're noting that at lasagnalove.org, which we have here in the comments, you can either sign up to get a lasagna for yourself or your family, to request one for somebody in your circle or someone that that could be in need, or to make one, or in more than one of those areas.
And again, you could volunteer just to cook once. As a volunteer, when you sign up, we ask you, like, how far do you want to drive? Okay, I only want to drive 5 miles to drop. So we'll ask you the distance. We'll ask you the frequency. We have a volunteer portal that you can go on anytime. And if you don't feel well, or you're going on vacation, or you just want to pause, you can do that yourself. If you want to cook more and you've got a week that, hey, I could make a few extras, I want Molly to know that, you can do that yourself. So we make it very easy, no pressure to volunteer. And I'm always there too. So I get last minute emails, Molly, I got a match, but I can't, like, I'm sick, can't do it. Like, that's why I'm here, is to help manage and be a partner with all the chefs. We make it very easy. And again, it's a really great supportive community. And we're really growing New Jersey too. We have almost 1,000 volunteers in New Jersey alone.
Yeah, I was going to ask you
about
that. So, people, I know when you look across the country, New Jersey may not seem like the biggest state, but, everyone's not right next to each other.
Right.
So if you're here in, Essex County or Bergen County, and you're thinking about somebody in Ocean and Monmouth County, I mean, do you have volunteers that span the state?
We do. We absolutely do. We've got regional leaders like myself across the state. There's 5 of us, and we're building teams of chefs and active chefs as we go. When I started a year and a half ago, there was like 3 chefs working with me. Now I have close to 300 in North Jersey.
Wow.
Active. And again, it comes and goes. People have to step out. New people step in. I'm always recruiting on Facebook.
Yes.
I think I belong to about 150 Facebook groups. I've not weaseled, but worked my way in and connected. It's funny. A lot of the groups say we don't want you to join unless you live in the town. But then once you explain what you're doing, oh my gosh, so, absolutely.
Well, it's a gift for it's a gift for everyone in every town for sure. To be a recipient or to participate in making one. So I can understand that they are open.
Yes, definitely open, and really I've met great people in the Facebook community across North Jersey too.
And for our viewers, as you know, the reason we created YWTV is to be able to share information and, to ripple it, through our networks. And so, this is the part that, we ask of you is that, you're hearing this amazing story today and this wonderful opportunity, whether it's for you or someone in your circle that might have the talent or interest in, being one of the chefs for Lasagna Love, or if there's someone in your circle that could use this, wonderful gift on their doorstep, please connect to Molly, connect to lasagnalove.org, check them out on social media, and share this with your network. You can share this broadcast on Facebook really easily from our Facebook page by hitting the share. You can send it in Messenger. You can copy and paste it and send it in a text, an email. But what a wonderful, as I said, there's been it's nice to see a few bright spots, in this very difficult time, and this is for sure one of them. And I'm so grateful that you could make the time, Molly. And
absolutely, thank you so much for having me.
What a wonderful model that you are for others, who really, have struggled during this time about, what to do with themselves because of, their lives being impacted with what's going on, and, jumping in and giving back in such an important way. So,
well, I'm glad to share the story today. As I said, we just started a year and a half ago. We got 20,000 volunteers across the country. We just expanded into Canada and Australia. So the founder's mission is to be a global effort, but local but global. So if anybody wants to contact me, I would be glad to answer any questions. Be glad to share my email, whatever whatever works, Helen.
Well, thank you. And we're gonna make sure that everyone does know that they can reach out. Obviously, if you write a note on the broadcast, we'll make sure that Molly gets it.
That would be great.
You reach out through the website or through the social media pages. That's also a direct avenue right to Molly, and answering any questions that you have. And Molly, again, thank you. We look forward to checking in with you again.
Yes, would love to.
Hearing what's going on and the growth. I mean, just the numbers that you're sharing are amazing, and I'm not surprised because, again, what is more comforting and needed than food? And what other better way of sharing love and community than through food as well?
Agreed. And I think this is I've been asked the question, well, when COVID finally ends and this craziness is over, are you still going to be existing? Absolutely. We're building this foundation and this network of support for people that people always need extra. We all need extra help at some time. So love that this is an ongoing effort, and really glad that I could share this out today.
Yes, well, absolutely. And I there's no doubt to me that this important mission and this important initiative will continue to grow over time. So we look forward to watching, cheering you on. And again, reaching out again, whether you can be a volunteer, whether you want to send the lasagna to someone, or whether you yourself would, appreciate getting one on your doorstep.
And we welcome any organizations you guys are affiliated with. As I said, local organizations that we could be on their roster of go-to organizations that people need meals or support.
Well, the YWCA has a lot of families that we work with, throughout all of our various program lines. So we make sure that all of our program leads are aware, so that all families, whether they're in our before and after care programs, whether they're in our sexual violence resource center, whether they're part of our girls network, our women's initiatives to help women get back to work, women's health initiatives, our seniors. We're every Asian stage, there's someone, connected to the YW that I'm sure could really benefit from this too. So we will be thinking about ways to integrate it. And again, we do encourage our other nonprofit friends, our faith-based organizations, small businesses. I mean, again, it's endless how you can be connecting with Lasagna Love and, helping, ripple the love, through our community for sure.
We've had great success, and we've got a couple really simple flyers that I've distributed out to different groups. We could do the same thing. I could do those flyers too. Just easy for handouts or to be emailed. So yeah,
Great.
we try and make it simple. And then again, the website is very easy to sign up, but we do, have flyers that could be distributed too.
That's wonderful. And we're definitely going to be using them internally. And again, you can connect with Molly or with us, and we'll make sure that you can get to her so that you can get the same information, whether it's for you or an organization that you're connected to. And for the rest of our viewers, stay warm, please. Let's do our best to try to stay healthy. And
yes.
One day at a time, folks. I'm not even sure what else to say at this point other than, try to follow all the best protocols that we have in front of us, and, try to, help those around you when you can. For us, we'll be back next week with, many more episodes of YWTV. So glad that you could join us this week. What a great start with, having our favorite supermodel, Emmy, earlier in the week talking about body image. Her event is coming up next week too. You can rewatch that episode, but that's a great opportunity also. That will be next week for people, and connect to Lasagna Love. And for us, we do have some great programs that have kicked off for the new year. Our Healthy Mind, Healthy Life for our seniors, which is on Mondays. It's a free online Zoom. It's a collaboration that we have with Sarah Hiller Burson from the Center for Purposeful Aging. And it's a great way for our seniors to have a voice and a safe, engaging space to talk about their feelings and experiences around aging and aging in the time of COVID, which is a little bit, different for sure. So we will put the link here in case anyone is interested, and you can share that. We also have a Friendship Friday for our seniors at 11:30 a.m. on the 14th that will talk more about that, and a book club on the 18th for our seniors. It's our inaugural book club, Growing Old, Notes on Aging with Something Like Grace by Elizabeth Marshall Thomas. I actually just got the book from my mom, who's 91, and she's going to be reading and being on for the book club. And although there's a lot of, I'm looking out my window, a lot of snow out there, and I can see my kids getting into all kinds of layers of it, it's also camp season time. We need to be thinking about the summer and what our kiddos are going to be doing, that they can be engaged and we can feel from a childcare perspective that they're in good hands. We hope that you consider the YWCA Northern New Jersey's camps. We will be part of a camp fair at the Bergen Town Center in Paramus from 12 to 3 on January 22nd. It's a free opportunity, lots of fun activities, and at the same time, you can learn and about our camps and meet our staff. We've got STEM programs kicking off for our girls in our community ages 9 to 14, which are also free, 4 to 5 p.m. On Zoom. You can learn more about that. We'll put the links there, and so much more. And all of it you'll be able to see on our new website, which is what we've been doing during the time of COVID. So we're so excited to launch it, and we'll be talking to you more about that on YWTV. And our team has been working so hard on it. We're so grateful to them and proud of them for the work that they've done. So Molly, thank you again. It's so nice to meet you, and I appreciate you taking the time on this snowy morning to be with us and share the love.
Absolutely. It was so nice to meet you, Helen. Sounds like you have a lot going on there. It's exciting.
The YWCA is definitely an organization that has, as I always say, something for everyone. And, we're always happy to, really respond to our community's needs within our mission of empowering women and eliminating racism. So So with that, folks, have a great weekend. Molly, be well. We'll
Thank
stay
you. You
in
too.
touch.
Nice to meet everybody.
Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Take care.